Oh shit, we're on. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Mock Draft Monday. My name is Turtle. This is Outlier Fantasy, and thank you again so much for dropping in for another Mock Draft Monday this week. I'm picking from the 107. This is a 12-man draft. Thank you guys again so much for dropping in. I cannot wait to get this one started. We got about 10 seconds before we draft. I saw a few of y'all waiting just to get into the stream, so thank you guys for hanging out and waiting for me to get into the lobby. It took a little while to get in, but now we're here and we're ready to go. Jamar Chase is the first pick off the board, and now we're going to wait until our turn to pick, which is going to be pick 7. CeeDee Lamb is the 102. Wow. That's shocking. That was shocking. Sir, please draft like this is for money. Please draft like your hard-earned dollars are on the line. Do not be taking CeeDee Lamb over Justin Jefferson. Do not be doing any of that. Oh my goodness. Am I really going to get my pick at wide receiver? I'm taking Malik Neighbors. I think we're going to make a video at some point about this, whether it be this week or next week. Malik Neighbors, no, he's not viewed as good as Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, but if there's anybody out of this Malik Neighbors, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Thomas, Drake London, and so on, if anybody is going to rival the production of Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, I don't think it's CeeDee Lamb. I think at the wide receiver position, we're looking at Malik Neighbors being the guy that could either break up this 1-2 that we see as untouchable. Like, we may one day see Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Justin Jefferson as the top 3 finishes at wide receiver one year. Maybe this year, maybe next year. But I think if anybody's going to do it and anybody's going to rival them, it's going to be Malik Neighbors. He is just so much better than the rest of these guys. He has a better target opportunity. There's plenty of targets to be given to him in the Giants offense. A negative game script allowed. They're going to be trailing or at least competitive in these games. And he's just the best skilled position player they have. They're just going to feed Malik Neighbors the ball and everyone else is going to get out of the way. When it comes back to me here, Brock is the thumbnail. I could go Brock Bowers. That would be an interesting one. I do like Brock Bowers here a lot. I'm not going to lie. I would have wanted Achane, London, or Ladd McConkey, and being that I can't get any of them, and I don't love my running back selection here, I'm going to go Brock Bowers. I'm going to take Brock Bowers knowing that I have an elite wide receiver and an elite tight end in this best ball draft, and I know that I'm off to a good start. If you guys have any fantasy football questions of your own, now is the time to ask those. Make sure you drop your questions. I'll be here drafting all night, and you can ask me whatever questions you want. I'm going to have a sip of my Diet Coke while I wait for this round 3 pick to make it back to me. Let me know in the chat what you guys are sipping on, what your bev of choice is right now. If you got a snack, what are you snacking on? Let me know. I'm just sitting here with my DC, and I'm living on a dream. I'm living for that best stack you can possibly get, the best team you can possibly have. I mean, if I wanted that, I'd be drinking White Monster. Let's just call it what it is. But honestly, I feel like Luis has a lot of potential, but I think that Luis lately is not the same player that Luis used to be. And what I mean by that is, let me just make this pick really quick. Elite Collectibles. Great question about Matt Luis. We definitely need to talk about him, but I definitely need a running back. So I'm going to go Breece Hall, even though I don't love that pick there. Yeah. So Matt Luis, of course. We're talking about the prospect, the next great tight end, of course, that we're all trying to get our hands on. Matt Luis has some interesting appeal, but I don't know about any more than just a dynasty late round dart throw or a stash, you know? I don't think he's the same player he used to be. But that's a great question. Lamar Jackson is the next pick after me, and honestly, that probably is the best pick. I probably should have went quarterback, but the fact that I did not have a running back going into what is going to be the 4th round, I just couldn't do that. I had to take somebody, and we all know how much I love DeAndre Swift, so I will take him at some point in this draft. Let that be known. Let it be known I'm taking DeAndre Swift. Right now, my 3 is pretty good. If I want to actually win this league, though, or this draft, I'm going to have to upgrade at the running back position fast. So let's see what those opportunities look like for me. I may go ahead and take Xavier Worthy shooting for upside, knowing that if I can get similar to a top 20 production out of him and Malik Neighbors being who I think is probably going to be top 5, I would feel really good about the wide receiver, and I have Brock Bowers. Danny Noogs, I don't really know too much about his game, to be honest. If you asked me, he sounds like a loser. I probably wouldn't draft him, but fill me in. Let me know about him. I don't know too much about the player. When it comes back to me, I'm not going to get James Cook. Omarion Hampton looks to be best available. And I may go ahead and gamble on Xavier Worthy, which sounds crazy. But here's the way I'm looking at it. I could take elite quarterback here, Jalen Hurts. I could take Ken Walker. Kind of scares me. I can wait and get another running back, potentially. But Omarion Hampton here. Nah, I'm going to take Xavier Worthy. That's who I said I was going to take. I'm sticking to my guns. South Jersey kid, not interested. No disrespect to anybody out there, any of my viewers from South Jersey, but Danny Noogs doesn't sound like the prospect that I want. Sorry. When it comes back, as I talk about needing to upgrade the running back position fast, I do not do that. However, I do know that DeAndre Swift is lurking, and I'm definitely going to be able to draft him. But how many more picks am I going to be able to get? Maybe, just maybe, I can land Zay Flowers, and when it comes back to me, go for a little DeAndre Swift action. That could be promising, because I'll have 3 receivers that I legitimately trust. I won't have to draft a wide receiver for a while, and Brock Bowers, he's Brock Bowers. We all know what that is. I can take Alvin Kamara, who would make me feel really, really good about my running back room instead, and find out what wide receiver falls back to me, or continue to just bolster up at running back and figure out the receivers later, because I have at least one guy that I know is legitimately him. The other guy is really good, but I know Malik Neighbors is him. I know, but you really have to look at the draft board and understand that Kyron Williams went the pick right before me, and Lamar Jackson was probably best available here, Eber. And maybe you could argue I should have taken Jackson Smith-Njigba, but to leave round 3 and not know if I can get James Cook on the way back, and I ended up getting Alvin Kamara in round 5 by waiting, so I don't hate it, but yeah, I don't love that I took Breece Hall. I just had to do it there. If I could have faded, I would. But now I'll probably end up going to get DeAndre Swift to make sure that I have as many running backs as possible. It is start 3 wide receivers, so I'm going to need to find more wide receivers in the draft, but I'll get those later. We all know how much I love guys like Xavier Leggett, these late round guys. I love drafting them. But you know who I love drafting that's not a late round pick? Ricky Pearsall. I'm quite fond of Mr. Pearsall here. And it's not because they used a first round pick on him, because that really doesn't matter. It's just more so about the fit and the situation that he's currently in. That's why I like Ricky Pearsall this year. But You guys let me know. James Conner, RJ Harvey, and Travion Henderson back to back to back. And none of them know that DeAndre Swift is going to finish higher than them. That's crazy. That's crazy. So we're concerned about him being faded out by Ben Johnson in Detroit. I guess you can consider, 2022? Ben Johnson fading DeAndre Swift. But he finished as the running back 21. And I'm going to take him right now after Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, and James Conner, Eber. I'm getting a guy that finished with a bad year last year at RB19. His worst season was with Ben Johnson as a backup, finishing as RB21. If he was the backup and finished as RB21, that draft pick is worth its value. Right then and there, period, stop. But can Roschon Johnson be somebody that takes his work? Potentially. But if this ends up being Swift and Swift only, which is a very small chance that actually happens, I'm looking at the opportunity of top 15 running back where I drafted him outside the top 20. Like, that's great value. A backup to Jamal Williams. Yes. But you're not understanding. Well, I shouldn't say you're not understanding. You're not hearing out that I'm getting at minimum 2 running backs in the system because it's Ben Johnson that are going to be fantasy viable. And only one guy right now in that depth chart is fantasy viable. So I would have to believe where I'm drafting him outside of the top 20, the floor has to be he finishes above that. And anything better is fantastic. I think it's going to be a lot better, which would be fantastic. But even if he just gets exactly his return on investment, which he's been year after year after year at his ADP, totally fine with drafting him there. I think Ben Johnson has shown us he can roll out 2 fantasy efficient running backs for us. And if that's the case, then we got to be taking at least one. I mean, it's severe PTSD because we were taking him with such an early draft pick, and now the cost is virtually nothing. You're gonna get a guy. I have to take Khalil Shakir here, even though I don't love that. You're getting a guy that has the floor of starting running back. Maybe not a good one, but one that can't lose you a week in your lineup. DeAndre Swift as a backup in a Ben Johnson system should be similar to David Montgomery production. RB20. That's great. If I could get that, I know that I made the right pick with DeAndre Swift drafting him where he's going after guys like Caleb Johnson, after guys like RJ Harvey, after guys like Travion Henderson. I feel good about that pick. And anything more than that is just a bonus to me. Looking at my roster now, I do need a quarterback, but I just could not take Patrick Mahomes. But if Patrick Mahomes is going to sit here for one more round, I'm just going to take Patrick Mahomes. It is what it is. I don't love the idea, but I got to play the board the way it lies. I could take Michael Pittman Jr. and upgrade my wide receiver room exponentially and then wait on a quarterback, but we'll see if he's there. I wouldn't pull the trigger on Golden or Ibuka, but I will blow it up to get Michael Pittman Jr. Jared Goff before Patrick Mahomes is crazy. I'm just going to say that now. But hey, you do you. If that's who you think is the 6th quarterback that we should take in fantasy, by all means, you do you. Go get your guy. I might go get me a Michael Pittman Jr. here. If I wait, a lot of people are going to go quarterback. I think I can afford to wait on the wide receiver. I could go Baker. But I think this is the one. I think I'm just getting him way too cheap. Maybe a bad pick, but I needed a quarterback, and it had to be done. Michael Pittman Jr. goes right after me. I totally respect that. Probably the last wide receiver I feel really, really good about. But I can pick up Rashid Shaheed. I can pick up Rashad Bateman. These are okay options at best. But we can make it work with that. I have what I think is 3 running backs, so one should flex for me. So any wide receiver production I get after that is a bonus if they're all healthy. I just want to see something. Yeah, we went 2 rounds in this draft. A whole 24 picks. Nobody took a quarterback. From Joe Burrow at the end of round 5 to Jared Goff at the 802. That's crazy. 25 picks went by without a quarterback. And then they all flooded. And I got Patrick Mahomes the same round. Someone took Kyler Murray and Justin Fields. I feel good about that. Yeah, maybe everyone's telling you not to draft Mahomes, but there's always going to come a place and a price where you got to take that pick. You got to make that leap. I feel like Travis Kelce is low-key one of those, but I'm going to stay away. I don't need the tight end position, otherwise I would consider. J.K. Dobbins. Cam Scatterboo. Is it really more important to get me another wide receiver right now when I could get a handcuff running back like Zach Charbonnet? Potentially. I can still mess around with some wide receivers later on. Get me a backup tight end. Get me a backup quarterback. And I'm good. I got running backs. We don't need to worry about that position anymore. Thank God. I have 4. If 1 gets hurt, I'm okay. If 2 gets hurt, I may be able to manage the ship. If 3 get hurt, no chance. But we'll see. Still some good running backs left, though. Najee Harris is a good pick. Tajay Spears is a good pick. Javonte Williams is a bad pick. But what do I know? What do I know? I do need a backup quarterback. Unfortunately, I can't take Dak. Drake May is a good option. I would take Caleb. We'll see what the draft board plays. Getting a wide receiver would be nice, but I don't love Luther Burden. Would much rather have Rashad Bateman. And then after Rashad Bateman, it kind of gets ugly. Hollywood Brown is an option. It's not that he is necessarily... Oh, well, let me make this pick first before I play around. Hold on now. Let me go get a backup quarterback just in case. It's not that Blue is necessarily the guy, right? But Blue is behind 2 of, if not 2 of some of the worst running backs that are rostered in the NFL. Like, no disrespect. Javonte Williams is one of the worst running backs in the NFL. We could all agree on that. He had one of the best offensive lines over the last 2 years and was awful. And Jaleel McLaughlin took the job right out from under him. And we have Miles Sanders. Yes, Miles Sanders. The guy that lost a backup job to, is his name Raheed Blackshear? Am I saying his name right? Something Blackshear. He lost his job to that guy, and now he signed with the Dallas Cowboys. So by process of elimination, that would lead me to believe that the rookie Jaden Blue actually has a great chance of making it onto the field this year, and that makes me want to draft him for that reason. It's not that I believe in him. I truly don't believe in the other two guys in front of them. And if you remember last year, not saying that I didn't believe in any of the guys that were ahead of Rico Dowdle, but I just felt like Rico Dowdle was the only capable guy at the end of the day, and it wasn't that I believed in him. It was just the other guys were just so bad. Oh, I missed my pick, didn't I? Yep. Oh, no, I got Likely off at the buzzer. That's what's up. I didn't like the wide receivers there, so I wasn't going to mess around. Xavier Legette, Cedric Tillman. I'll take a chance on those guys. It's not that Jaden Blue is him. I just know the other guys are not him. I think that's the difference. But thank you, Eber, for hanging out in the stream. I do miss you, my dog. Whenever you want to come back on the channel, you're more than welcome with open arms. You know that. I'm looking, and I'm going to grab Xavier Legette if I have the chance. That is who I want. I have tight end locked up. I just need some wide receivers now. Just need some wide receivers. Probably the only team with 3 wide receivers because that's crazy, but I'm okay with that. It's better than the guy that has 7 and 2 running backs, and yeah, maybe one of them is going to get hurt. I need me some wide receiver help. I think this is the guy. Just waiting 13 more seconds for my pick. Please give me Xavier Legette. Thank you very much. And we're moving on. I still need wide receiver help. Jack Besh is an option. I like Demario Douglas as an option. But I need to make sure I'm not grabbing so many guys on a week 14 bye. I did miss out on Michael Pittman Jr. I can get Alec Pierce. Tyler Lockett, Tennessee wide receiver. That could be interesting. If there's anybody in this tier I feel good about, it would probably be him. Dom, what's good, bro? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. I'm good. How about you, man? I just got a few more picks until I go, but we could take a look at the board again. Some wild work here in the first round. CeeDee Lamb at the 102. And then he comes back and he's like, here, you want to see something even cooler? I'm going to take Chase Brown over Bucky Irving. Yeah, how do you like that? And then he's like, you know what? To make it even better, I'm going to take Devontae Adams over Garrett Wilson. He's just like, I'm looking to ruin my Monday night. How could I do it? He's like, maybe I'll look to do something silly in round 4. Nah, he didn't really do anything that silly, but I would have took Jalen Hurts there, just saying. You ain't need J-Mo. You ain't need that. I need wide receiver help desperately. I'm going to take Jack Besh, take a chance. I'm going to need to take another chance on a guy that I don't feel that great in. Maybe that could be DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe he could heat up for a couple weeks. I'll keep that in mind. At this point, I could confidently go boom or bust wide receiver the entire way. Maybe sprinkle a little Jaden Blue, but he'll probably get taken. Yeah, that probably would have been the pick that I made last round. But Roschon Johnson, my handcuff is there. That could be interesting. Or possibly my 1B. Who knows? Who knows? Definitely get your Roschon Johnson shares in. Come on now. Jaden Blue is off the board. I don't want the Mario Douglas anymore. I changed my mind. Two QB PPR. We could do something on Sleeper. After this, we'll see if we could pull something up on Sleeper. We could try that out quick. Let's figure out what I'm gonna do here first. It's a lot of wide receivers, none that I absolutely love. I'm gonna take Pat Bryant because I need a dart throw here. Let me work on that for you, Dom. Hold on 1 second. Alrighty, I'm back. I have the draft set up on the other screen. I'm going to wait till after we do a couple more rounds. Then we could go on auto pick, and then we'll cook up the other mock. I have it right up over here. See, I'm 7 out of 10, and it's a 2 QB. So Josh Allen, Lamar, they're ranked number 1. I am on the clock. I need to make a pick. I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins. Why not? I'm going to probably make one more pick, to be honest with you, and then we could just roll over to the next mock. And the next mock. Once it comes back to me, I'll take Tyler Lockett, and then we could go on snooze, honestly. I don't really feel like we need to be here that much longer. We could bang out this 2 QB draft. That's always fun. Do a little super flex action, eh? And yeah, and then we'll call it quits from there. I have just a few more picks. 5 more. Wow, someone took Anthony Richardson. That takes Stones. Same kid that took Goff. Stones. That takes Stones. Could I go running back? Maybe. But I don't love any of them here. You know what? I'll do Keaton Mitchell. He was somebody that looked really good 2 years ago, got hurt, didn't get to play a lot at all last year. I think this is somebody that could be a problem for a Derrick Henry fantasy owner. I really do. I'll leave Tyler Lockett as the autopilot pick, and we'll just get on out of here, and we'll go right to Sleeper. Let me make sure the screen's good. Yep, we're all good. And let's get this show on the road. Let's do it. Josh Allen, Lamar, obviously the first two picks. Here we are at 107. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking at the board here. I see one quarterback. We could go the robust way. We could do the boring way. But let's experiment and aim for a Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors stack. And let's see where the draft takes us from there. I do believe that we'll end up getting both of them because someone's going to want quarterback or tight end, which happens. So let's take Malik Neighbors. And if we're going to be honest, we have a ridiculous stack at wide receiver here. This is just a perfect start. Now, unfortunately, is where it gets interesting. You're going to have to think about, do you want to take Bo Nix here? I would rather have Bucky Irving just to make sure I have a running back for you. When it comes back, Baker is available. And I don't know if I love that pick. But I know if I don't take him, the next available guy is going to end up being Justin Herbert. I kind of like going. I'm not going to overthink it. I'd rather go Herbert. We'll go Baker. We need two quarterbacks anyway, so it doesn't really matter which one of those two we get. Can't fade quarterback for another round because then we'll just have nobody for the entire year. Here I'm looking again. Can go Caleb Williams, can go Kyler Murray, if that's what you prefer. I prefer maybe attacking this Jared Goff, CJ Stroud tier. So I have two wide receivers. Rashee Rice would be lovely. Unfortunately, he's suspended. Could go tight end, but I want Alvin Kamara, knowing that I have two legit running backs with this stack. Now it comes back to me. I like Kyler Murray. I like Drake May. I could pull the trigger on either one of those. I still need more other positional depth pieces. But the guys I like, I'm going to miss. Unless I'm okay with taking Dak. Which I am okay with taking Dak, but I need like DJ Moore to really hit. That's the only problem here. Let's go DJ and see what quarterback comes back. We still need at least two quarterbacks realistically. You know how this goes. Drake May is available. I like Drake May. You can go safe. You can go Jared Goff. There's a lot of guys in this tier that are good. It sounds crazy. I may just pass over one more time. I really might just do that. The only thing is I don't love the running back fall off here. Where is DeAndre Swift at this point? Hasn't even been drafted, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's take the quarterback just so we have some upside, and then I'm going to take Dak for floor. Actually, I'm not going to take Dak here. There's still some good players, positional players available. I like DeAndre Swift. We know I like DeAndre Swift. Chris Olave is also here if you like wide receiver better. But I'll take Isaiah Pacheco just to be a little different. And now you have three running backs. Only two quarterbacks, yes. But you have your pick of the litter here in round 9 or whatever quarterback you want. Do you want quarterback? It's kind of getting a little filled at the quarterback position. We can honestly go Chris Godwin here as a value. We have way too many wide receivers on this team, and it's almost a good problem to have. The AI has stopped taking quarterback, Dom. I'm just going to be honest. It's been 2.5 rounds. I don't think that that's going to happen in your 10-man. I would assume somebody takes a chance on one of these guys. I'm just going to say we're going to take Jared Goff because we trust him the most. Dak is still there if you like Dak better. But I could trust Jared Goff more. We'll take Jared. Still need a tight end. The best tight end available is Evan Ingram. I don't want you to miss out and go any worse than that, so we'll take Evan Ingram. And then we will double dip and get another guy that could potentially break out later. Running back help would be really nice. Najee Harris is starting the year on the PUP, which is not nice. He is best available running back. He would be a great deal of depth. But let's take... I don't want to cop out and say take Ken Walker because he's a premium handcuff. But I almost want to do that with Jordan Mason because we kind of feel like Aaron Jones is going to lose his job at some point. But who's the best wide receiver available? I mean, dude, you could take a chance on Diggs here. Like, that's a no-brainer. Let's just go Jordan Mason. We need the running back depth. You got 3 legit starting running backs, so that's big. And you may not even need to worry about starting a running back at your flex because you have so many wide receivers you could play. Now the quarterbacks are gone at this point, so it's a good thing we got a third. We could take a 4th here, but we could take Jake Ferguson, and we need that tight end help, so that's going to help us. I didn't even know that they do that on Sleeper for kickers. Yeah, these are the last 2 rounds, so we got to go kicker and tight end. So let's go Boswell's money. That's so funny. It just goes, what the? And Eagles defense. Why not? Random. And that's it. I think, looking back at the board, I don't regret not going quarterback in the first 2 rounds, Dom. But I will tell you that this didn't feel real. Like, the quarterback drop-off, nobody going quarterback, that didn't feel real. I didn't think that was very accurate. I would have loved, honestly, perfect scenario is if I would have been able to get like Justin Herbert here in round 5. But I knew that wasn't possible. I had to take Baker Mayfield when I did. No, I don't feel good about that quarterback, but I have 3 quarterbacks that I feel good about that I could rotate, and I have options. I have 2 tight ends that one of these could easily break into the top 10, so I feel good about that. And there's really no wasted pick at running back. You have 3 starting running backs, no doubt about it. 3 guys you could legitimately trust, barring injury. And then you have 1 guy that could bloom into an even better asset. So I like that a lot as well. Every single wide receiver on your team is insane. You never have to worry about wide receiver help, at least. Because you have these 2 are never going to sit. And then you have DJ Moore. And you have Godwin. So I like that. And yeah, of course, quarterback is the weak spot here, but when you have these 2 guys, they're just going to outscore whatever quarterback that they have on their team. I'm sorry. You have these 2. These 2 guys are 2 of the top 3 wide receivers in the NFL, in my opinion. That's just me, though. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. Really do appreciate every single person that stopped into the stream, interacted, gave it a like, did whatever. Thank you guys so much. I did have a lot of fun with this, Dom, so thank you for recommending a 2 quarterback draft. It's always fun to just mix around and get different feels. Maybe even one day we'll do like a 14-man draft or something. We'll get some of the viewers in. That'd be dope. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys